Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone Talks. I hope you're all doing well on this Friday night. Yes, as you can see, we're a little bit later than normal. I've decided to try out something new time-wise. We used to go live between 9 and 10 o'clock back in the day, and I might be doing a lot more live streams on my own late at night. So I hope you can all join me because I know a lot of you enjoy the streams that I do on my own. And it actually shows because the views of all the streams that I do on my own do very well. So I want to thank you all and thank everybody for encouraging me to do a lot more of these streams because I do enjoy them. But a couple of little announcements to make, obviously, for this week. So tomorrow we usually have classic Who's On. So I'm going to cancel classic Who's On tomorrow. Charlotte is unavailable, and I think everybody needs a bit of a rest. If I'm quite honest, since we come back and start doing classic, we've been on it every week. So I'm going to cancel it this weekend, and in its place, I'm going to be doing a stream tomorrow myself. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking the RTD era. So if anybody would like to come on that hasn't been a guest, now another thing that has been said to me as well, if Noel, can you bring on other people like Jack, who's in the chat now, and others that don't normally get a chance to talk that often on the panel when they do come on. So if you would like to come on and talk about RTD tomorrow, what I'd like you to do is send me a DM, whether it's on Twitter or Messenger, if you follow me on those two platforms. Send me a message and we will get you on tomorrow. We're talking RTD and what you guys, even if there's people out there that haven't done Doctor Who videos in a long time and haven't spoke about Doctor Who in a long time, but would like to talk about RTD's return and what their hopes are and what you think might actually happen with the era, you're more than welcome to come on. So that'll be tomorrow instead of the classic Who Zone. We will be doing New Who on Sunday. Charlotte will be available Sunday, so we'll do a Sunday. So we'll take a break, a week off with the classic Who. So New Who on Sunday, and then we'll have all our other streams then during the week as well. So obviously we're here to talk a little bit about Doctor Who. There's not much now, I have to say. There's not much in the way of news, except obviously congratulations to Miss Jodie Whitaker, who's expecting her second child. She announced her pregnancy at the Brit Awards, guys, and she looks rather radiant. As a pregnant woman, obviously, she looks glowing. She looks very well. She looks well rested. No matter what I say about her, it's been, for the last few years for her, would have been very hectic. As I've said, and I've said on this channel, when the rumors about Jodie Whitaker were leaving, this was one of the main factors of why she was never going to stay for the five series that people have been saying, because she's always wanted to have more kids. And someone in there is joking, is it Yaz baby? Just do us a favor. Look, Whitaker gets a lot of stick, right, because of her acting and stuff like that. But if you could leave those comments out, I don't want to see any of that. I've seen it on Twitter as well, and I think it's disgraceful. Like, she's expecting her second child, so a little bit of respect. I know everybody thinks it's a laugh and a joke to say, is it Yaz's baby? Or, someone jokes, said, no, what did you do? Like, all joking aside, it's for a woman especially, being pregnant is a very anxious time. So, let's leave the jokes out. I don't like it personally myself. So let's leave it. At the end of the day, we criticize her on her acting and we criticize her on the script, and we criticize her on the scripts and the interviews that she's done. But this is a personal thing, so yeah, keep the jokes out. Well done to Jodie Whitaker to get her second child soon, says Michael. Yeah. Look, as I said, we might have personal feelings towards the actor and stuff like that. But when something like this happens, yeah, it is worth congratulating. It's a very, especially for a woman during the pandemic, it's going to be a lot more stressful as well. So, remember, we're here to criticize our acting and scripts and stuff like that. There's no need to get personal, as they say. So we do have, if any Big Finish fans out there, we do have this article. Now, I will put this article in the link description later on. I haven't put it in right now, but I'll put it in as soon as we are finished. So, for anybody that's a Big Finish fan, this will come as a bit of a shock for you. Doctor Who Audio Stories recast, Fourth Doctor for new adventures. 2 new audio stories are available for pre-order now. Big Finish has announced that the character actor Stephen Noonan will be taking over the legendary role of the Fourth Doctor in 2 new audio adventures. The character was originally played by William Hartnell at the launch of Doctor Who in 1963, with other actors playing him over the decades that followed. Most recently, David Bradley had a successful stint in the role, kicking off the season 10's The Doctor Falls in Twice Upon a Time and continuing through several full cast audio adventures, as well as immersive live experience Time Fracture. However, he passes the baton on to Noonan, a former member of the Royal Shakespeare Company, for the studio's next 2 Fourth Doctor stories, which are titled The Outlaws and The Miniaturist. Director Nicholas Briggs said, "This is the beginning of a new era for the Fourth Doctor with Big Finish. Stephen's performance is, in my view, breathtaking and beautiful, authentic, yet somehow brand new, delivering deliciously Hartnell-esque belligerence, humour and charm in this box set, and offering up all sorts of exciting prospects for future adventures. It's not simply an impression. It's a full, rounded, detailed performance that I can't wait for listeners to be thrilled by. Stephen Noonan has done some staggeringly detailed work to recapture the authenticity and spirit of the original Dr. William Hartnell, whose success in the role is one of the main reasons the show is still with us today. Well, it's a pity that Chris Chibnall doesn't actually think like that. So The Outlaws will be released in April 2022, and is available to pre-order now from Big Finish. Stephen Noonan added, "When Nicholas Briggs emailed me to calmly offer me the role after I had auditioned, my initial reaction was one of extreme trepidation, considering it is something of a sacred undertaking." I do like that. I do like the fact that he does know that this is a big deal. Because, if you were to get an actor, especially a voice actor, to come in and they don't understand the significance of the person that they're trying to portray, well, then it doesn't normally work. But the fact that he's come out and said something like that, it does give me hope that this could be a good thing. I'm excited and daunted in equal measure to be following the footsteps of William Hartnell. I hope we've done the great man justice and enjoy the new adventures to come. Well, I'd say, not only are you following in the footsteps of William Hartnell, you're following in the footsteps of obviously for Big Finish, David Bradley. So it's it's an interesting one. I don't know how I feel personally about the Fourth Doctor being recast audio Doctor, but let's see what you guys in the chat have to actually say about it. And don't forget, guys, super chats are available as well, just to let you know. I don't think everybody realizes that there actually are super chats available there. So if you want to support the channel, you know what to do. There's no news, Leland. Nothing of significance right now. But I will say this: I will be interviewing Eddie Obscaro from Talk to Doctor TV. So he will be interviewing Tom Salisbury, the guy who's been doing the ratings and talking about the ratings. So Eddie has set up an interview with him, and they're going to be breaking down the ratings. And this stream basically will tell you all the true state of the ratings, the true state of the fandom, and all of this. And then Eddie has agreed that, and after that interview, he'll come on, he'll do a little pre-record with me, and we will break down the ratings, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about the ratings. And our side in particular, we do a lot of research, and the ratings are not as great as people are making out to be. But someone who's actually there that understands the ratings will be interviewed by Eddie, and then Eddie will be coming on and passing on the information on this channel. So that's something for you all to look forward to. So let's see these comments. Let's see. So a lot of people congratulating Jodie. Who's Stephen Noonan? Well, I've just read the article there. I don't know who he is personally myself. Big Finish recasting Doctors yet again. Liberty Hall, says Tom Corley. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Hey, everyone, it's been a while. Nice to really see you there. Nice to see you. The Tardis Zone. Marty is there as well. We might bring Marty on before we finish up. He might have some news for us on all these Doctor Who forums, and we'll see if Leland, if Marty wants to come on. Marty, if you want to come on, do me a favor, mate, because I know you did ask me, was I going live tonight? And I sent you a message to say I was. If you want to come on, send me a message on Messenger, will you, mate? And I'll send you the email. Now, listen, I won't be staying live for long either, because I still have to bring Ted out, as you know. He has some news on the cast, and okay, well then we'll see what I'll do is I'll send you the email now, and I'll bring you on as soon as I've finished, wrapped up what I'm talking about, and then we'll bring you on and we'll talk about these rumors. But as I said, we're not going to be here all night. So I've sent the email. So the email's sent. So we'll wait for Marty to come in the studio. To the actor and top bloke, I may get the box set to review. So Daniel knows who he is. So if anybody wants to know who this Stephen Noonan guy is, ask Daniel. Daniel is very big into Big Finish, as you know, and he did do reviews of Big Finish as well. So if anybody would have any information on Stephen, it would be Daniel in the chat. So go on, guys, you guys who want to know who he is, go and ask Daniel there. He'll be able to tell you exactly who he is. Listen, it's Big Finish. So for me, look, Big Finish for me is not canon. Never has. It's just been a nice little thing on the side that has kept the show going while it was in its wilderness years. But I don't take Big Finish as canon. Never have. So, the recasting of the Fourth Doctor doesn't bother me as much. But in saying that, why not just do the audio stories of the Doctors that are still alive and try get as many audio box sets out of them, because they're all getting on in age as well. I can understand why there is such love for the Fourth Doctor, because obviously he was the one that started it all off. But I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Of course, I'm not the expert on Big Finish. The expert Big Finish is actually Daniel there. So I don't know what recasting. Why is David Bradley not doing that anymore? Does anybody know why David Bradley is not doing that anymore? Because that's a bit of a weird one. Or has David himself decided that it's time to leave it alone now? He's done his part, sort of thing. Because look, I do like David Bradley's interpretation. It's the closest that we're going to get, even if the episodes he was in and Doctor Who, portrayed him as a bit of a sexist pig. That wasn't his doing, obviously. That was the writing. But his performance as William Hartnell in an adventure in space and time, space and time, is absolutely brilliant, and his portrayal of the Fourth Doctor is spot on. I just don't know why they've actually changed. So, yeah, I think he stepped back, says Daniel. All right. Well, I suppose he is getting on himself, isn't he? So it probably does make sense. But it's yeah. See, this is why Big Finish. As I said, if you're a Big Finish fan, this will obviously mean something to you. Obviously, I'm not a huge Big Finish fan. I have sat down and listened to audios, as we all have, but yeah, I prefer watching stuff on screen. It's the way I've always been, anyway. So I've sent Marty that email, so we'll just wait for Marty to set up and stuff like that, and then hopefully we'll get him on. Because as I said, there's nothing really Doctor Who news-wise this week except the announcement of Jodie Whitaker's pregnancy. And obviously, we have heard the rumours that there might be some Doctor Who audios held to ransom in the Middle East. So other than that, there's nothing really going on. So, yeah, very quiet this week, Doctor Who-wise, which makes me think next week there's going to be a lot more stuff going on. But I do know the forums right now. There's loads of stuff going on the forums. Potential castings and stuff like that, and rumors about David Tennant, the usual stuff. Just to talk about the David Tennant stuff real quick, because we touched on it last week. And I'm just going to say, I think a lot of fans have got their wires crossed. They think he's going to be Dr. 14 and stuff like that. And I think there's wires crossed. Look, David Tennant will more than likely feature in the 60th anniversary, right? Does that mean he's going to be Dr. 14? I doubt it very much. Look, I've been told that another actor, or another person, I should say, will be cast as 14th Doctor. And there does seem to be a lot of wires crossed. People thinking that David is going to be Dr. 14. Now, I'm not going to rule it out totally because we don't have 100% proof either way. We just get the information and we put it out there. But in fairness, though, bring him back for the 60th would make sense. To have him as the 14th Doctor, they could work it around it and make it work. But personally, for me, I want a different actor to play Dr. 14. I don't want it to be David Tennant. I just want David Tennant to be in the 60th. And if he's bringing other doctors, that's brilliant. That'll be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I don't want him to be Dr. 14. Because to me, in a way, that'll be like, well, RTD is going back to what he knows and what's safe. For the 60th, I get it, because you want to win back an audience, you want to win back the British public, and I get it. But I don't think it would work for Dr. 14, to be quite honest with you. I don't think he would work as Dr. 14, because I think fans would see right through that. And for what it is, it's all this nostalgic business that they've been doing lately in Hollywood. And look, while sometimes it's great and it can work, which we've seen with Cobra Kai, we've seen with Spider-Man No Way Home, and we've also seen it with Ghostbusters Afterlife. But we've also seen where nostalgia, where they get it wrong. And, Matrix Resurrection, we'd even go as far as to say, there are other TV and movies out there. We got the new Jurassic Park movie coming up, or Jurassic Domination. Already they've brought back Jeff Goldblum and the original stars for that one. So it's more nostalgia, and this seems to be the thing. I said it, Hollywood goes through trends, and right now there seems to be a whole thing, and a whole will from Hollywood to have all of these nostalgic fan baiting franchises. And as I said, sometimes they get it right, and other times they've got it wrong. But I don't want Hollywood to be going down this trend, because we still want original content. If you can't do that, then you shouldn't be working in Hollywood. It's as simple as that. I don't want over the next couple of years now to have all this nostalgia crap, because then we'll look back on it. We'll look back on it and we'll say it was a bad time for TV, bad time for the movie industry, because there's no original ideas there, right? No original ideas. And then they bring back former cast members to try, suck those fans in. And we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful. While I do like Ghostbusters Afterlife and all those other shows that I've mentioned that have done nostalgia great, I don't want that to be the trend now on Hollywood. They need to stop. And this is what I'm afraid that RTD might do. He'll see all this and he'll think it's a good thing. It's not. It's not. We want original stuff. So hopefully RTD, and I'm told he is going to do his own thing anyway. So I'm quite happy about that. But I don't want all this nostalgia. Put it in the 60s, yes. But Series 14, I want completely something different, right? You win your audience back with the 60th if it's a multi-story over a couple of days. And then after that, then you get down to the real serious business. Series 14. Series 14 and 14 Doctor. Want brand new and a new era going in a completely new direction and all of that. So that's where I am. Point is, you have to win back to the audience beyond the anniversary too. This operation, Save Who. Yeah, it is. Look, we were told on this channel, we brought on someone did an interview. This is a full-blown rescue mission, right? So, while I'll accept the nostalgia for the 60th and stuff like that, because you do have to win fans back, after that, then I want to see something completely different. I think Tennant will come back as the Meta Crisis or some kind of Watcher type figure. Well, Andrew, we'll have to see. There's loads of rumors flying out there. But look, with that said, let's bring on Marty and let's see what's going on in the world of the Doctor Who forums. Let's see what juicy information he has. Now, as you know, when Marty comes on, myself and Marty, we're not one of these people that buy into rumors straight away, right? There's a thinking process, and we really think about these things. So while he's reading, obviously, we will be giving our own opinions on it. You guys in the chat can also do the same. Let me know if you think any of the rumors that we're about to talk about right now, whether you think there's something in it or not. Now, I'm going to start off by putting a disclaimer on the channel, because obviously there are some people out there that watch this channel that don't like this channel, that have a go at me because they always say that I'm lying to the fandom, even though we make it clear that everything we speak on this is rumor, speculation. We never say anything's fact. So here is it. Before I bring Marty on, here is the disclaimer, folks. So there you go. Disclaimer there, right? So You all know where we stand now. So let's bring him on. Without further ado, it's the one and only Marty from MCTV, I think. Yeah, MCTV. Uh, new channel, by the way, guys. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to his channel because he will be up and running himself. I thought he would have kept all this stuff for his own channel, to be quite honest, but just goes to show you how nice Marty is, because he set up his own channel. He could very easily go on his own channel and do all this, but he's decided to come on here and share the news, which I'm very grateful for. Marty is one of the, as you know, he's one of the nicest people out there, and anytime he hears that, and he's always here giving us the latest. So let's see what he has to say. So let's bring him on. It's the one and only Marty from MCTV. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Not too bad. It's been a while, mate, and I know we've been trying to set up something, but I just haven't been.
You're all right. Our schedules are just always clash.
I know. My sleep pattern's all over the place as well, so that doesn't help either.
No, you're okay. You're okay. How are you, anyway?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good. So obviously, you do be on all of these forums,
Yeah.
and obviously you've gotten some juicy information. Of course, before you say it again, we want to make it clear that this is all rumor and speculation, and especially coming from these forums, right? But but this is the good thing about Marty. Marty will know. Marty kind of knows who the legit people are on these sites compared to who's talking out their arse. Because he obviously he's been at this a long time. So Marty, what have you got for us?
I have got casting news for you. Before you panic, it's not the doctor. It's not the doctor. Basically, without putting up, I don't want to share the username and anything like that because I've been warned recently about sharing like the actual taking actual screenshots from the forums and stuff because you're not really supposed to do that. So I don't want to get in trouble with anyone or anybody, but I can provide. I'm gonna show the photo. A poster tonight on one of the forums put up a picture of an actress and basically said, I'm dropping her name here, but I'm not telling you what she's all they basically were saying is that they're in the next era, but I'm giving you no context as to who they are or who they're playing. The actress in question is a girl called Emer Kelly. She is a London based. She's Irish. She's Irish heritage, so she's got the Irish name. Her name's Emer Kelly, and one of the biggest roles she had before. Well, she's on a BBC One show at the minute called Father Brown, and it's sort of like a recurrent series, sort of like how you have shows like Doctors, Fair City, and stuff like that. She's a recurring character in one of these in Father Brown.
Just do us a favor. You just keep talking there. I just have to do something real quick. So you're okay. Keep yapping away there.
So basically, this girl has been mentioned on a forum by someone reliable who knows when productions is taking place and who knows who. I don't know whether the person who provided this information has a source or what, but the person that did provide this information is someone who is reliable and somebody that has come out with accurate, filming news, production news before. So I have reason to believe to trust this person. But her name is Emer Kelly. And I think if I'm able to do it now when Noel's away, I will be able to share a photo of her. So give me 2 wee seconds till I get the photo of her. And I will put it up on the screen so you can see her. So I don't know personally based on what I've seen of her on her CV. I don't think she's basically. If I had to put money on it now, based on what I've heard and what I've seen, I think she's the new companion, or she's going to be a companion. So yeah, I will. If you give me just 2 wee seconds, I will get the photo up. There it is. I've got it. Right. Now, give me 2 wee seconds till I pull it up on the screen. I'll get the right one, though. Where is it? Where is she? Do you know what? I'll just type it in. Because I can't share the photo individually on my stupid Mac. Give me 2 seconds till I find her. Let me see. If there's any, I don't want to be showing photos. No, I think they're all okay photos of her. Yeah. Sorry, I'm rambling a bit, but I will get everything for you here now. Okay, here we go. So this is, in my opinion, although not confirmed by the source, this person here could potentially be the next companion.
Right.
And her name is Emer Kelly, and that's her there in the grey on the right. That's her.
Hold on, let's have a look. Oh, we do. I think I know her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's it sounds like her name's because I was telling Joe about this earlier. Her name sounds like it's spelled Emer, but it's actually it's Irish. It's Emer. So she's a British-born actress. I think her mother and father are Irish, and she's been in EastEnders. That's her there. You can see where my mouse is. That was her in EastEnders. So yeah, she's her name has just fell into the mix. Whether she's in negotiations or whether she's signed or what, I don't know. That information hasn't been provided. But yeah, I think she looks the part for a companion, but yeah, it's up to you guys. Tell me what you think. Or let us know.
Well,
What
he
you think.
seems to be going for an older actress as the companion, though.
Well, she's 32. But she looks like she could play younger. She doesn't look 32 at all. But
Interesting.
again, we don't know whether she's a companion or not. Again, that's only my prediction. That this person hasn't said who she's playing or what she's playing, but I would assume it's the companion.
Well, a lot of people in the chat says, yeah, they're happy. They're happy with that choice for companion, actually.
Yeah.
So it seems to have gone down well with everybody. That
Yeah.
choice.
That's the latest. That's the latest on that front anyway. So you could potentially be looking at I'm not saying it's confirmed because obviously it's not. I'm not saying this is.
Well, Tom has
official.
just said in there. Look, Tom has just said she tested for Doctor Who before as a companion.
Uh-huh.
So if that is actually true, and if that was under the RTD era, and he didn't cast her originally, and now he's given her a chance, that would actually make sense. That would actually make sense. But look, again, this is the casting that I'm actually worried about.
Yeah.
The casting that I'm worried about is obviously the Doctor's casting. That'll be the main casting. I don't really give a shit who the companion is, whether it's a bloke or a woman or whatever. You know, she tested for Clara, says Tom. Oh, so she was originally Moffat. Okay, so Moffat originally tested her for Clara Oswald.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't heard now when it comes to the elephant in the room, as I call it, or the Doctor casting. I haven't heard anything solid. I can tell you that now. What I have heard, and I know you're going to say, well, sure, everybody knows this anyway, is that they are auditioning male and females for the role, but you know that's that's not exclusive. That's something that would just be common knowledge. But
yeah, we've all said that. Look, he's not going to exclude anybody. He'll pick the best person, whether that's a bloke or a woman in his eyes. You know,
but work is firmly underway in Cardiff. They are grafting because what I've heard from other people is that Scott Hancock, now I don't know if you know who Scott Hancock is, he would be the editor for Big Finish. He would have been script editor for Big Finish. So a lot of the stories out there you've seen, I can't name stories off the top of my head because I'm not really into Big Finish, but from what reading into this guy and what he's done, he's worked for Big Finish for a long time. I think he worked for Doctor Who magazine at one point. I could be wrong, but he is a script editor for Big Finish. The word on the block is that Scott Hancock has been hired to be the script editor for the new era of Doctor Who. So he is going to be the. So basically, yeah, if RTD is, to put it in the simple terms, if RTD is writing the scripts, he will go over the script with RTD and basically suggest what to put in and what to put out. So there is a bit of a big Finnish influence in there with the stories, but it's not going to be, at the end of the day, he doesn't have complete control. He just suggests what he could change. RTD doesn't have to take on everything he says, but he's his job is essentially to say, well, what do you think of the scripts? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just Raymond Williams there. Just want to comment on your comment there. He says, older doctor, then she's 32 and would have a doctor younger. Hopefully that rules out Ollie Alexander. Well, Ollie Alexander is not going to be Dr. 14, so you can rule him out. He's also ruled himself out. And this is not typical where an actor would rule themselves out and they secretly have the job. Ollie Alexander is not going to be cast as the 14th Doctor. Right? Simple as that. He's actually going to find an actor. Listen, Ollie Alexander is great at what he does. I watched him on The Masked Singer a couple of weeks ago. He's a great lad. He's a bit of a laugh, but he's not Doctor Who material. He could play a companion in the show, but he's not Doctor Who material. And anybody that does think he's Doctor Who material, well, then they don't understand the Doctor. He ain't Doctor, so he can rule that out. He ain't going to be Doctor.
The only person that I've heard from recently, and it's old news, the only person that I've heard that has been linked to be, I've heard them linked as the Doctor, and I've heard them linked as the companion, is Lydia West.
That's the only one that I've heard as well. Yeah.
That's the only person I'm here. Now, I do think I put my bottom dollar that Lydia West is going to be on it in some stage, in some capacity, whether she's Doctor, companion,
or a villain.
Yeah.
Or it's just a supporting cast or just in an episode. Yeah, I think there's a very strong possibility that Lydia West could feature in the RTD era, but not as some fans think. Some think she's going to be the Doctor. I don't think so. And, the bookies have stopped taking bets on Martin Freeman, as you know. Also, Ben Whishaw has ruled himself out as well because Lorraine Kelly actually asked him. She says, you're one of the fan favorites to take over Doctor Who. And he came out and he said, no, I ain't the 14th Doctor. So he's already come out and also ruled himself out of the role.
He's ruled himself out. Vicky McClure came out and ruled herself out.
She ruled herself out, yeah.
She said that it's Doctor Who's not really her cup of tea. It's not really something that she's into. It's not something that she's interested in.
Yeah. Well, that'll annoy the other side because when Jodie came out at the Brit Awards holding her hand, all the Tasman stands were loving it, calling them lesbians. She's a pregnant woman, Whitaker. A straight woman. She ain't a lesbian. Get that trees are thick skulls. I'm sorry. Might be is our little fantasy there, but she obviously loves her husband. They're starting a family. The family is getting bigger now, so she's no interest. And this Tasman storyline apparently is going to have a bad ending anyway. So everybody thinks they're going to get the happy ending. But it looks like Matt Stevens has already kind of provided and said that, look, if these fans are looking for a happy ending, it's not going to happen, basically.
I will tell you what I have heard on that front. And it's three simple words that classic fans will definitely know what these words mean. So Tasman is going to meet tissue compression eliminator. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
that's all I am saying. Tissue compression eliminator. So whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's what I've heard. Another thing that's floating around is filming. Bad Wolf are hired for crew at the minute for Doctor Who. That's old news. Whether that's for production of Series 14 or the 60th, I don't know. I can't say on that front. If I knew, I would tell you, but I don't. So, but what I have seen recently is that somebody was writing up that David Tennant is finishing Good Omens with Michael Sheen now in the next few weeks. And apparently Tennant has pushed back some of his Comic Con appearances or something like that, or delayed them. So I find that it just happens to line up very well when Doctor Who just seems to be putting their production team together. Could be coincidence, might not be coincidence, but yeah, interesting times. I mean, the amount of stuff I've seen and the amount of stuff I've read, I could sit here till all hours telling you.
I know, that's what I mean, and it's trying to rummage your way through what you might think is possibly true and what is obviously bull crap. But yeah, look, as I said, interesting time in the Doctor Who fandom right now. Lot of rumors flying about. You got the usual suspects doing their videos. Some of them are absolutely ridiculous anyway, though, I have to say.
Some of them are either out of reach. Well, the thing is, there's the flip side to the coin where with Bad Wolf and Sony throwing money at them like it's going out of fashion, that you could get someone of a big name in, but whether Russell wants to do that or not, we don't know. As I say, I've heard there's nobody that has written comments that have said, it's looking like it's going to be this person, it's looking like it's going to be that person. It's very different, because I remember when Jodie Whitaker was cast, I was only sort of new on those forums at the time, and I wasn't really used to what they were writing up. But there was a few people that mentioned Jodie Whitaker's name. They were like, "Yeah, could be her. Well, we've heard it's her." Turned out it was her, but there's no real concrete name. The name that's been mentioned seems to be changing every few days, and it's you get the people that are saying it's Tennant, and you get the ones that are shouting it's Lydia West, no, it's Tania Miller, no, it's Michael Sheen, no, it's Martin Freeman. It's changing every day, and there's no solid name. Like I could sit here and say, oh, the such and such is saying this person's going to be the doctor, such and such is saying this person's going to be the doctor. What would be the point? Because there's that many names, and it's all the names that we've heard already that are in the mix. There's nobody concrete that is reliable with information that's turning around and saying, yeah, it's going to be this person, or dropping a hint. It's dead on that front. But as I say, like, you hear bits and pieces, and I just sort of pass them all. But you know what not to pass on.
Yeah, interesting stuff by Matt Strevens last week, where he was talking about Jodie Whitaker's regeneration, and basically hinting towards that her regeneration was going to be different to other regenerations that we've seen. Now, obviously, fans have gone into full speculation mode. Obviously, if people have been following this channel for the last few years, you will know that last year we actually spoke about this. This is the funny thing. All the stuff that's coming out now, lately, we've already spoke about on this channel over a year ago. Yeah. Over a year ago. It's crazy. Some of these rumors that I put out, people are expecting them to come true, or to, within the next few weeks you might hear something. But a lot of the stuff that I get, right, it always does in the end come to fruition. But as I say, you have to wait, until you hear from the BBC and all these other organizations to see where you stand. But we spoke about this. We said that Jodie Whitaker, right, on this channel, we said it, that we would see the start of Jodie Whitaker's regeneration, and then the credits would come in, right? Okay, we spoke about this before anybody else was speculating on it. We actually spoke about it because we had received information. Now, obviously, a lot of people have been speculating out there and being, patting themselves on the back and congratulating themselves that they speculate. But we actually broke this first, and we spoke about it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's an open-ended regeneration, because he did say something else that was interesting in that interview. He said that the Whitaker era and the Chibnall era was going to be bookended.
Yeah.
Right? What does that mean? Well, if anybody knows what bookended means, what he's really trying to say is no matter what happens in this era, with the last 2 episodes, that's it. It's sealed, done, delivered. It's locked into place, basically. This is why he said that their legacies are secure. That's exactly what he means, right? Because RTD, as I've been saying for months, nearly over a year on this channel now, I've been telling people that want to see this timeless child nonsense retconned. I told you, RTD is going to do his own thing. This is down to Chibnall. But if you listen to what Stevens is actually saying, it doesn't make a difference because it's going to be bookended. So Doctor Who, New Who, started in 2005 and will end in 2022, this current run.
Yep.
When RTD takes over in 2023, it's a new beginning for Doctor Who. So the timeless children nonsense will not be retconned by him. He is doing his own thing. So people need to realize that and get on board with that, because look, he's not retconning it. And if that's a problem for you all, well then I'm sorry to say you are going to be very disappointed, because as I said, RTD will begin in his new era, and it's a new era for Doctor Who completely. This will be completely different to the way Doctor Who has been since 2005 till now. The format will even change as well. The runtime for episodes will also change. So we don't know whether we're going to get 45-minute episodes, 20-minute episodes, 30-minute episodes like the most programs do nowadays, or whether we're going to get hour-long episodes. We don't know.
The thing is, you're right. You're 100% right, because what people need to understand, as you say, bookended, it's the end of an era. It's the end of Chibnall. It's the end of production in BBC Wales. It's the end of Rolf Lock.
That's what I mean. So it's a completely different show now.
And what I say to people is, if you want to see what you're going to get from Bad Wolf, go now and watch
his Dark Materials. Yeah.
Go and watch I Hate Susie. Go and watch the shows they've made. Like, you look at, I don't know if I've said it to you, go and look at the title sequence for his Dark Materials, because that's what you're going to get for Doctor Who. Before you get your cast members, you're going to see executive producer Russell Lee Davis, Judy Gardner. You're going to see the whole. It'll be a real cinematic 4K ultra high definition.
That's what I mean. This is a new. I think this is where the problem is with a lot of fans out there. They're all consumed about the timeless child nonsense that they don't actually realize that this is a new beginning for Doctor Who. It doesn't matter what Chibs does now, because RTD is going to ignore it either way, and he's just going to do his own thing. Now, if fans want to take that as a retcon, right, then that's fine, fair enough. If that's what makes you move on and become a fan of RTD again and this show again, then that's fair enough. But if you're expecting RTD to come in and retcon something that Chibnall done, you're not going to see that. So this is what I've said, and I've said it from the beginning, and I've been saying it for months. All of these fans that are waiting for this to be retconned, are going to be disappointed. These are going to be disappointed. So you have a choice to make. You either get on board with RTD and support what he's going to try do for the show, or it's time to say goodbye to the show that you loved, because as I said, you don't realize, even the interviews now prove to me I'm exactly right in what I've been saying from the beginning. RTD is not going to retcon the timeless children. He is doing his own thing. This is Doctor Who for the next generation. That's why when Piers Wenger made those, look, it all makes sense now, right? This show is going to be brought into a new era, new generation of fans. They even said it themselves. So without even actually admitting it, they're ignoring what Chibnall has done. They're just not going to do that because they don't want to rub him up the wrong way. The fans, remember, this is the same situation with Star Wars, right? Star Wars fans want the sequel trilogy, right? Retconned. But now they have actually realized now that The Mandalorian and Boba Fett are now actually leading towards the sequel trilogy. So all those lies out there that were told that this was going to be retconned, right? It's not true. And this is why I won't lie to you. and this is why I'm out straight. You need to understand and realize, right? I am not a certain YouTuber out there that comes on and says, oh, it's going to be retcon. Don't worry. It's going to be this, that, and the other. I'm telling you the truth, right? Because I've always been truthful with this. And I'm telling you now, if you are expecting this to be retconned by RTD, you are barking up the wrong tree. Simple as that, right? He's going to do his own thing, and he wouldn't stab Chibnall in the back anyway, even if their relationship right now is not the greatest because of what Chibs has done. He's not going to do it, right? RTD has integrity. He wouldn't do something like that. He'll do his own thing, though. So, I don't know how many times I have to say it, but I think people and Doctor Who fans out there, you have a choice now, and you will have to face reality. And the reality of the situation is that it's not going to be retconned by the great man himself. So Chibnall has 2 episodes to do it, but after what Streven said and his interviews, I think Marty will be in agreement with me here. It doesn't look like he's even going to retcon it. It's just going to be bookended, put in its own little bubble universe. This version of Doctor Who from 2005 to 2022. That's it. And then the next show, the next version of Doctor Who. That's the way to look at it. This is a new version of Doctor Who, like a reboot, you might as well say. So this is what's going to happen. So fans have a choice to make in the next few months, whether you are on board or you aren't. I'm giving them a chance. I know Daniel is going to give him a chance, and there's a few people in the chat there that are willing to give RTD a chance, no matter what happens with the Timeless Children nonsense. For the rest of you, though, that can't get past that, I'm sorry, you are going to be very disappointed unless Chibs does it himself, but I don't think he will now at this stage. I don't really care. Listen, this Tasman thing, if it happens, if they kiss, I don't really care now. Let it. As far as I'm concerned, just let it, because this era was never ours, right? No matter how much we tried to like this show, I couldn't. It just was far away from what I understood Doctor Who to be.
Yeah.
But it's there's just people in there cautiously optimistic. Yeah, be cautiously optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I do believe that if anybody can turn this around, it is RTD. Now, listen, we will be talking about RTD tomorrow. So, Marty, if you're available tomorrow again, we're not doing Classic Who. We're taking the week off. So, because I want to bring on guests to talk about RTD and what they'd like to see, what their hopes are, and speculate about who you think he might cast and stuff like that, with all the names that have been thrown out there. So if you want to come on, that includes you, Daniel. I know you don't do much Doctor Who stuff, but if you want to come on tomorrow and talk about your favorite showrunner in RTD, same with you, Marty. And if you just want to come on and tell me what you think and what your hopes are for the new show. I know we did one a few months ago, me and Marty. We did one a few months ago where we did a stream where we talked about our hopes and we start speculating and stuff. But I want to get everybody else involved as well. So no Classic Who Zone tomorrow. Charlotte anyway couldn't make it, so I thought this was the perfect opportunity just to take a week off and give everybody a bit of a rest, because Balstrek was supposed to join us for the last 2 weeks as well, and his work schedule, and he hasn't been well either. So we'll take a week off, and hopefully everybody will be back next week. So we'll do this tomorrow. So if you want to be part of it, send me a DM. Remember, if you follow me on Twitter or you follow me on Messenger, and if you're interested in coming on, let me know. And you have to let me know in advance so I know who's actually coming on. Okay, so if you want to come on, you know what to do. Send me a message.
Yeah.
Marty, any more stuff you wanna just put out there before we finish up? Because I've got to finish up in say 20 minutes or so, because to bring Ted down.
As I say, there's nothing really more that I can add. The thing that I keep hearing too is there's people bagging drums about. Well, it lines up because they're hiring crew at the minute, but there's people lining up chatting about filming starting in May, early May, late April. So I don't know, but you'd like to think they're going to get a shift on with some announcements if that's going to happen.
Well, see, here's the thing now, right? if that rumor, because I've seen that rumor myself, if they're filming, say, next month or the month after, right?
Yeah.
Well, then it shows me that this 60th anniversary is not just a one-off, one episode job. This is going to be over the next few nights, as it's been rumored. I reckon we'll probably get 2 or 3 specials over that 60th anniversary weekend if they start filming in April or May, whenever they're saying, right? So if that happens, then I do believe then that this is going to be a multi-episode 60th anniversary. If they leave it any later than that, then I think it might be just the one. But it is very interesting. Leland wants to know what time we'll be going live tomorrow. Well, we usually start Classic Who between 7 and 8. So it'll probably be around that time. It'll be around the same time as we do the Classic Who zone. It's just instead of Classic Who, we're going to be talking RTD. I trust RTD to do a good job, says Andrew. And that's it. You know, at the end of the day, for me as a Doctor Who fan and for Marty as well, remember, Marty grew up with RTD. RTD was his showrunner, right?
Yep.
So RTD means a lot to him, right? Now, for me, I'm a classic guy, but I understand what impact RTD had with this show when he brought it back in 2005. So, you know, as I said, I'm going to give him a chance, and I do believe that he can save this show, regardless of what's happened now. Listen, if this was any other showrunner coming in, I wouldn't have this confidence in his ability to do something. But the fact of the matter is that when he came back in 2005, he rebuilt it and he hit the ground running, and it was one of the best shows on TV at the time. And this is why I believe he can do the same thing, the same trick twice, right? This is a guy that has moved away from Doctor Who and has had hit show after hit show and has won awards galore. This is a more mature RTD as well, right? Now, I just want to actually address something, because there are certain YouTubers out there. Now, you know me. I call anybody out. I don't care what side of the argument you're on, even if it's people on their side of the argument. If I think that they're fucking bang out of order, I'll call out. You know that. That's why I'm different to every other YouTuber out there, right? At the end of the day, I can see through bullshit, right? And I can see through bullshit from a YouTuber out there. You all know who he is, right? He's the guy that goes around calls people white supremacists. We won't mention his name. You know who I'm talking about when I say that, right? But he did a video recently on RTD and how he was worried, right? Now, I'm going to educate this twat now, because I'm sick and tired of his propaganda. So already he has sowed the seeds of doubt, folks. And you're probably asking, how has he done that? Well, I'll explain how he's done it. So, as you know, during RTD's initial run as showrunner with Doctor Who, we recently found out that there may have been incidents with Noel Clarke, alleged incidents, right? Now, as there might be still a police investigation, we can't actually say whether it's true or not, right? But he also brought up the John Barrowman stuff as well. Now, I just want to make one thing clear here, right? And say why this guy is toxic and why nobody should listen to him, right? He kind of blames RTD and Julie and all of the others for the behavior that was going on its set of Doctor Who, right? And Torchwood and all of these other shows, right? But what Mr. I'm not saying his name now. Don't give a shit, because someone said it in the chat anyway. So Mr. Tardis decided that he would do a video and talk about this. But when I was listening to the video, right, he was kind of, he wasn't kind of blaming them as such, but he was saying under them, a lot of stuff went on that shouldn't have went on. Now, nobody here is disagreeing with that part, right? But why bring it up, right? And I'll tell you why now in a minute, why he brought it up. But I just want to make one thing clear. See, RTD, Julie, and everybody else that worked on that show, right? Okay? is being blamed for the John Barrowman stuff and the alleged stuff with Noel Clarke. Now, we do know when Julie and others were alerted to the John Barrowman stuff, John Barrowman was reprimanded. And this was years ago. As we know, he's been able to move on since then up until recently, and then it was all rehashed again after Noel Clarke decided to throw him under a bus and basically, deflect from what he was doing and try throw John under a bus. But you see, this is the culture within inside the BBC, right? And I think this is what this idiot doesn't understand. And this is why I'm bringing it up. That was the atmosphere and the culture that was at the BBC. And how we know that is because men like Jimmy Savile and Gary Glitter were able to do what they were able to do on BBC premises. Okay? This was a culture that was created within inside the BBC. So I'd ask Mr. Tardis, since RTD set up Bad Wolf Productions, right? And Bad Wolf has done its own shows and done its own thing. Tell me, how many incidents with cast members have come to light of indecent behavior and stuff like that? How many? I'll tell you how many. Zero, right? Another thing as well, right? RTD is not always on set. Neither is Julie always on set. This is why they're executive producers, They're not always going to be there. Now, I will make one thing clear. If Julie and RTD had known about the alleged stuff that was going on with Noel Clarke, trust me, it would have been dealt with. But to kind of say that you're worried and set the seeds of doubt, see, this is why he's doing it already, right? It's because, he's defended the current era. Right now, he's also criticised the current era as well. Right, it's been a mixed bag with him. Right, on one hand, as soon as he gets an interview, he changes his tune. Let's just say, right, but he has been critical of this era, just not as critical as us. But apparently, his criticism is better than our criticism, and we're white supremacists when we criticise. But he's not when he criticises. You see where we're going here? But he's already setting. He knows by putting something up like that and doing a video like that his supporters will be looking at that, and they'll be looking for stuff like that happening when RTD takes over. And this is what I don't like. Instead of talking about the positive things that RTD did with Doctor Who, he wants to bring up the behavior that was going on set, right? Even though RTD may not have been informed of what happened with the alleged incidents with Noel Clarke. As I said, they dealt with the John Barrowman stuff, right? So I'm pretty sure if they had found out about the Noel Clarke alleged stuff, they would have sorted it out. So I think it's a bit disingenuous and because he's bringing the old gang back. He thinks that behavior could continue with Bad Wolf. But as I said, Bad Wolf is completely different to the BBC. And there's been no incidents with Bad Wolf production, right? This was all under the BBC's watchful eye. Doctor Who from 2005 to now has been run by the BBC and BBC Studios. That isn't the case anymore. They created the culture inside the BBC, which allowed this kind of behaviour to go unpunished or to go without any sort of reprimand. But as soon as Julie found out about the John Barrowman stuff, she did reprimand him. He apologised at the time, and it was done because he moved on. He was at Comic Cons, but of course then the Noel Clarke alleged stuff happened, and Noel Clarke decided that he was going to throw him under a bus to deflect away from what he was alleged to supposed to have done, which is a lot worse, by the way. But some of the supporters of this era don't actually get that, and they actually think he's just as worse. Because here's the thing. Do you notice how the supporters of this era keep bringing up John Barrowman? But not once have any of these little gobshites brought up the alleged stuff that Noel Clarke has got to do. Now, I'm going to be out straight here. I think the reason why that is because Noel Clarke happens to be a black man, right? And I'm going to say it out straight, right? Because of all of this Black Lives Matter stuff going around, they don't want to be seen to criticise him just in case he's innocent, right? which is fair enough to a certain extent, right? But when stuff comes out of it and there's 20 odd women coming forward, right? And then he's actually literally come out in a tweet himself and actually said, well, I do apologize. Maybe one or two of those women, there was incidents with them, and I apologize. I'm going to seek therapy, right? That was his response, right? Now, I'm sorry, you cannot pin any of this on RTD or Julie, because as I said, if they had a known, trust me, I don't think Noel Clark would have featured in Doctor Who. They would have got rid of him if that was if they knew about that. But I am sick and tired of all of these little muppets out there picking on John Barrowman all the time, right? And not one of them, and even look, not one of them has even talked about this. We did. We did. Now, we were very careful when we spoke about it, but we spoke about it because it needed to be spoke about. Because it was, if that behavior was going on, it's wrong. But you can't, that was the culture inside the BBC. And as I said, Bad Wolf, since they've been doing shows, you haven't heard any cast members come out with his dark material say, oh, yeah, the work environment within Bad Wolf Studios is toxic, right? I Hate Susie, as Marty brought up. You don't hear the cast complaining or saying it was toxic during that show either. And whatever shows do they do Good Omens as well? Is it? Is that on?
No, a Discovery of Witches. They do that.
Discovery of Witches. Sorry, Discovery of Witches as well. You don't hear the cast members come out and say that it was a toxic workplace there. No, it was toxic at the BBC. And by the way, BBC still remains toxic, and that's the problem. That's why they're in the shit that they're in, right? Doctor Who is under Bad Wolf Productions now, so nobody needs to worry about that sort of behavior. But the fact that he decided to pick on that just goes to show me that he's already setting up, right? He's already sowed the seeds of doubt now, because these radical fans will be looking and be making sure that nothing happens, and they'll be analysing everything, interviews and stuff like that, to see if anything like that happens, because they will want to bring this era down. They will want to bring this era down, because remember, they don't like us because, you know, they believe we brought this era down, even though it brought itself down with its bad writing and its bad acting, right? That's theirs, but they blame us. So they'll be looking for something with RTD to attack RTD with. And this is why I don't like the disingenuous video that he done, right? Saying that he's worried. He ain't worried. He ain't worried. He's a lying twat, right? He's just doing that because he wants to set the seeds of doubt. He wants his supporters to say, oh yeah, well, we'll have to keep an eye on RTD, make sure none of that shenanigans goes on. And they'll be waiting to cancel him. So, you know, we're in a very peculiar situation here. But listen, as I said anyway, don't be listening to idiots like that. You know, at the end of the day, you know, if you're looking forward to the RTD era, right, look forward to it. And don't let anybody tell you, you know, or ruin your enjoyment. Because right now, I'm still buzzing. I don't know if Marty is still, but even though there's been shit coming out and stuff like that, I'm still buzzing. I'm still buzzing. I just, for once, since 2005, I honestly believe that we could have great Doctor Who again. And I haven't felt like that in 5 years, folks. A lot of us haven't. And I'm not going to let... And look, there's a couple of naysayers, even in my own chat, who say I'm setting myself up for a fall and all of this. We've seen it, right? Which is fair enough. They're entitled to that opinion, right? And I have said, if I am setting myself up for a fall and it goes all pear-shaped, fair enough. But I'll wear that. At the end of the day, though, right now I'm excited and nobody's going to take that away from me. I just can't wait.
There's a line. There's a famous line. Well, not a famous line. It's a well-known line in the Writer's Tale, Russell T Davis's book. And he said that when he gets overstressed, when he got overstressed, and he got all worked up, and he didn't know how to finish an episode off, he would take a walk in Canal Street in Manchester to clear his head and to get inspiration. Well, the other day, Russell put up a photo of him walking down Canal Street again, So some things never change.
That's what I mean. Look. I know for a fact whatever this man is going to do, right? He'll do it because he loves Doctor Who, right? There's going to be no agenda with him, right? He's going to cast the best people that he believes will be the best for the role, right? And he will. We've already seen his stories, and we've already seen his writing so far now that's not even connected to Doctor Who. And he's probably, right now, I would have to say, he's probably the best British writer right now that's alive. I actually think he's up there as one of the greatest. Actually,
Yeah, definitely.
that's how far I would even go with it. So, look, I'm optimistic to a point. Obviously, his casting for me will be very important, but I'm not going to let anybody out there still ruin my excitement, because there's even a few. No, you shouldn't be getting this excited. You're going to be let down. RTD is not going to deliver what you think he's going to deliver and stuff like that.
I'm
But
not.
look, you might believe that, and I don't blame you for feeling like that, right? But don't try and project your feelings onto me and say that I should feel like that. Look, I've done enough crying and had enough heartache over this era. I'm done. I just want to see good Doctor Who again. Don't care about this era now. Don't care how it ends. Don't care if she regenerates or doesn't regenerate. I don't care if Yaz and the Doctor kiss. I really don't. I don't care if she gets thrown into a time vortex. I don't give a shit. They can end it whatever which way they want to end it. As far as I'm concerned, Doctor Who starts again with RTD. This Chibnall era, as far as I'm concerned, is a blip. It'll be ignored, and I'll move on.
Yeah, it's he's gonna the thing is, I'm stumbling trying to get my words out.
I know you're still. I have to say though, your reaction.
Oh, no.
I want to say it though, but your reaction was the reaction of every fan that day. And it still is my favorite reaction to the RTD news. I have to be honest, it really is. And you should never be embarrassed about that, because you know what? That just goes to show you how monumental that announcement was and how much that meant to fans like yourself and us. We've been disillusioned with this era, but to see the reaction, that was just brilliant.
It was just strange.
I know.
And looking at that and seeing the phone, Russell T Davies returns as Doctor Who showrunner. I was like, this can't be real.
I know.
This can't be real. But listen,
everybody did think it was a joke. I even thought it was a joke, Bad Wolf. I thought it was so much of a joke that I actually went on all the fucking. I went on Google straight away, right? And then I seen all these articles, and then I thought, all right. So there's articles, but where's the actual 100% proof that? And then of course I saw the Doctor Who TV fucking thing, and then I knew once they posted it. I knew, and then obviously, as I did a bit more research, I found out that he'd actually left a few words as well, saying he was delighted to come back, and then that's when I knew he was back.
After I had left the car park after my meltdown, all I done, and people will laugh at me for this. I put on the Series 4, the Morning Gold Series 4 theme tune, and I blasted the whole way down the road, and I was wiping tears from my eyes driving down the road. I just can't, still doesn't process. People are saying, as you were saying there, that don't be getting your hopes up. I will not make, it doesn't matter who he casts as the Doctor for me. I will not make my final call on this
until you see it.
Until the credits roll on the first episode, till the end credits are rolling. That's when I will have my opinion made, and I'll probably have to watch it again because, it's I think it's just going to be a shock to the system.
Yeah.
What people
even real super doctors in the chat as well, and he had the same kind of reaction to you as well. He was blown away, man. Yeah, you two guys, your reactions were sweet, I have to say, because you represented a lot of what fans were feeling at that time. It was relief. It was also like the fact that RTD was returned. There was so many emotions there. And at the same time, we then knew for a fact that Whitaker and Chibnall were going as well. So there was that as well to actually contend with. It wasn't just I think people don't realize it wasn't just the RTD announcement. It was the fact that we knew that this woman and our boss were actually leaving the show. And that was the biggest reaction, to be honest. I think RTD was just the icing on the fucking cake.
I remember when I heard they were leaving, and the phone, I was at home doing work, and phone went off, Jodie Whitaker, and then you were live, and fuck, I was just, even that day, I was like, Christ, and then, it was all going through my head, who could take over, and I just came out straight away and says, listen, person we need is Toby Whithouse to take over, he's the guy I want to do it, but I never in a million years did I think I would see Russell Lee Davis being announced as coming back. Never.
Well, no, because he did say himself, and we've got to make this point clear, because John's actually even had to bring the update. He says, I was surprised to why he returned. Exactly, because he had made it clear after his first stint that unless the show, this is the way he actually put it back then. He said, unless the show needs me, I won't be returning back to Doctor Who. Yeah. I'm moving on. I've done me bit. I'm gonna go now and do me other stuff, right? But the fact that he's back shows me that this era has completely destroyed. You don't go look at it. Doesn't matter who approached who or who asked for the job or if they asked him. The fact of the matter is he's back. And if you go back to the man that originally brought it back in 2005, that successfully rebuilt it and made it popular, and you go back to him, it doesn't matter whether he asked for the job or whether they offered him the job. The fact of the matter is you're bringing back RTD, the most successful showrunner for this show, especially in the New Who era. Well, then that says a lot to me that BBC have obviously lost faith in what Chibs was actually doing.
It was said during it's been a rumor that I heard for years during the Moffat era, and even I remember hearing this rumor back when I was about 14, and it said the rumors. It sounds like an ancient tale when you tell this. It is said that during the wrap party for the 2009 specials, Russell T Davis, Julie Gardner, Phil Collinson, and Jane Tranter made a pact that if the show was in dire need or the show was on its way out, that the four of them agreed to come back together and rescue the show. And where are they now? They're back in the positions they were. They're back in the jobs. They're back where they were in 2008. It's the old team. It's the band getting back together. So, and even like even with the crumbs we've been given already, the teases we've been given, like Moffat turned around himself and said, "Don't think you know what you're going to get because you don't." He says Russell would not be doing this unless he could quote, not my words, Moffat's words, quote, scare the shit out of you. He would not do it unless he thought he could do it.
That's what I mean. I think we're actually going. This is what makes me believe that RTD. This is why it's good that he's back. And I think even Moffat understands. And I think Moffat would actually, probably wouldn't admit it publicly, but he probably would admit that, let's be honest, RTD did a better job than he did. And the fact that Moffat is even excited for his return shows me that obviously RTD, whatever he showed him, because I remember when Moffat made those comments and he says, well, he's been showing me what he's been working on. And by God, he is all in for a surprise. Like, and,
he says, so don't think you know what you're going to get because you don't.
Exactly. So, I mean, look, that makes me excited. If Moffat is coming out, and look, and Moffat gave Chibnall a leg up, so did RTD. And I think that rubs a lot of fans up the wrong way. Yeah. But you have to understand how it works in the world of writers and showrunners. They will back, even though they mightn't like what certain showrunner does, right? Especially the ones connected to Doctor, they'll still support each other. because trust me, when the RTD era starts and if he starts getting any stick, right, from the other side, say, because he's not going to get any stick from us unless he completely goes off the boil, which I don't see happening. But I will guarantee you that Chibnall will come out and defend RTD, and so will Moffat, because there's loyalty there. There is loyalty. They mightn't like what he's done, but they're loyal to each other and they want each other to do the best that they can. So I'm telling you, if RTD does come up against any criticism, don't be surprised if Chibnall comes out and supports him.
Well, put it like this, and I'm sure you'd be the same too. If we go into this era and we love it, and everything's perfect, the Doctor's brilliant, the fucking music, everything to do with it is brilliant, and people start criticizing it, I will come out and I will defend the man. You know, I will come out if people, certain sections of the fandom don't like what he's doing. You know, put it like this, and this is the whole case with my channel too. If Russell does something right, I'm going to come out and say he does it right. If he doesn't do it the way I think he's going to do it, you know, if he does something right, he'll get praise. If he doesn't do something right, I'll be honest with him.
Exactly, but that's the way it should always be, though. And again, you know, we don't need. Again, I just want to make this clear. You know, we've got a responsibility as YouTubers. You know, to not pander to our audience. You know, and that might sound a little bit bad, but sorry, I don't come on here to pander to everybody in the chat or YouTubers out there or to get a certain reaction, right? Every time I've reacted to that and got to do with this current era is because that's what I believe. It's my truth. It's what I see. And obviously the evidence and all that stuff has backed me up in the end. But I will look, if RTD does bad things, you know, he's not beyond criticism, right? He might be the GOAT, right? But the GOAT, let's be honest, in 2005, he did give us some. He gave us more great episodes. I reckon out of all his whole run, for me personally, there are 3 episodes out of that whole run. That's including the specials that I don't like. Just 3. Now, the Moffat era is completely different. I dislike a lot more than I liked on the Moffat era. But RTD hasn't gotten everything perfect. We're not saying, I'm not sitting here and saying that RTD is perfect. He's not. Yeah, I mean, for some of you out there, you know, you don't like Love of Monsters. I do, right? But I could see why fans don't like that. So he hasn't been perfect. I don't like the Idiot's Lantern. I think that's a stupid episode, and I also don't like the Olympics episode with the girl in it. So I don't like that one. So I don't like that, and I don't like the specials. I don't like the last 2 specials that he done. My favorite parts in that were Wilf, obviously, and I didn't like the regeneration scene, but I did like the Planet of the Dead, and I did like Waters of Mars, but I didn't like the 2 specials. And I didn't like it. So there's 4 episodes actually out of the RTD era, out of all of his episodes that I didn't like. So no, he's not perfect. But the thing about it is, right, if you compare him to Chibnall or even Moffat, right, his character development is way above those 2. His story development, right, is way above those 2. So that's why I'm excited. You know, I'm not saying he's always going to get it right, but I also want to make this clear as well. You know, even though I'm a fan of everything that I'm hearing so far and the stuff that I haven't been able to talk about and stuff like that, even though I'm a fan, if he messes up in any way, you know, he's not beyond criticism. That's what we're here for. We're here to, when he does things good, we're here to give him the pat on the back that he deserves. And if he does stuff that we don't like, as Marty said, he's going to be called out. He's not above criticism, just like Jodie Whitaker was never above criticism or Chris Chibnall. See, this is another thing. I don't want the same thing to happen now on our side of the fandom that's happened on that side of the fandom, because I know there are a lot of people that are protective of RTD, right? But you must understand that if he does do a weak episode, he's going to be called out for it, but doesn't mean we hate him.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, you've got to be true to your audience, And if you don't like something, there's no point of coming on a line and saying that you do.
The thing is, since he's left, and as you say, his writing rightfully has modernized, and it's a lot more grown up. A week episode, if you compare a Chibnall week episode to an RTD week episode, well, you know which one you'd rather be watching.
Well, in fairness, that's what I mean. Look, I'll say this. RTD's weakest episodes are Chibnall's best.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Look, Chibnall was wrong on many aspects, and I don't want to bog down on him because we are talking about the GOAT. But his weak episodes, RTDs are fucking Chibnall's best, and that's the startling thing about it. But look, finally, all the veil of lies has been lifted on this era now. Now, as I said, Eddie will be interviewing Tom Salisbury. They'll be breaking down the ratings, and Tom, when it comes to the ratings, he's the guy. Now, as Eddie was saying to me in the private chat, there's a lot of misinformation actually out there about the ratings. Obviously, you've got the other side saying that the ratings are actually good and that it's not actually a problem. Of course, you've got me and others that are saying, no, that's not true. If you look at the live views, and as I said, I honestly don't believe that those live views are actually live views. I think they've been bumped up for the fact that, I think they count 15 minutes in or something as a view. So the 2 million for Eve of the Daleks wasn't actually 2 million. It was probably even half that. So that's the job that RTD has. I mean, look, but Eddie, I can't wait for this interview because Tom, as you know, I think he's worked for Doctor Who magazine, or he still works for Doctor Who. I'm not 100% sure, but he will be brought on, and they will be talking about the ratings. So we'll have to see what is actually said there.
If Russell is able to, the key things for me that I think he needs to do, if he's able to put out a solid, say, 8 episodes, and they're consistent, and every week you have cliffhangers that are, like, jaw dropping. You have to have something that hooks in, cliffhangers and next time trailers that hook you in to the next week.
Look, if anybody could do that, I think the best trailer that he's ever produced was the very first trailer that he did with Eccleston, and he had the TV spots as well. That's how you hype up an era. That's how you get people pumped for it. Listen, he'll use all the same tricks that he used in 2005. But remember, he'll also have new tricks up his sleeve because it's been years later, and there are different ways now to promote this show. Remember, I don't think back in 2005 when he was around. How long has Twitter gone? Was Twitter even a thing? I don't know.
It was literally only starting as he left.
There you go. So Twitter was only starting when he left. So now he's got Twitter, he's got Instagram as well, he's got YouTube, and then he's got obviously BBC to put his TV spots up. And look he'll use Doctor Who magazine. He'll do interviews for Radio Times. You've already seen it since he's took over. How many interviews has he done now? He hasn't come out with too much detail, but he's already done 2 interviews. He didn't have to do an interview yet. Remember that, folks. Chris Chibnall's still in fucking charge. He's got 2 episodes left, if you know what I mean. Well, he's not in charge technically, if you know what I mean, but he still has 2 stories to go. But yeah. RTD is in there already now, and they've already started their work behind the scenes. So look at this man. It ain't no tick. Trust me. We are going to get Doctor Who. Listen, do you remember we were saying Series 11? We were all shocked about how much publicity Jodie was getting and how much publicity was on Doctor Who. Like we said at the time, I never seen anything like that. It even surpassed what RTD did back in 2005, right? because it was our first series. Like, she was promoted the bits. We had the glass ceiling, video. We also had the little teaser when she was announced as the Doctor. Remember that, the 10 Downing Street and the clips and all of that other rubbish. And then, she was all over the Comic-Con. She was on every single magazine, whether it was GQ, women's magazines, Doctor Who magazine. She was on the front cover of the Radio Times. I mean, she was promoted to bits. And everybody thought that was big. Well, it's going to be even bigger. And it'll all start off with his 60th anniversary. And it'll be even bigger.
Yeah.
Than what we got.
You got posters of buses here. Forget posters of buses. You're looking at billboards in Times Square.
Yeah.
Billboards in Times Square.
Yeah. Listen, they have. I don't think people realize, with Sony's money backing them up, because Sony have bought either a stake in it or bought. I don't know how it's worked out.
They've bought the majority stake, which means they own Bad Wolf.
Right, they own Bad Wolf, but RTD is still the main man. He's still, because it was his company. So obviously there's been a deal there where he still stays, because they want RTD. See, Sony are clever. They see how good RTD is, so they want to gobble up all the talent that they have. And after the success of Spider-Man, they're on and Ghostbusters, Sony on a bit of a fucking roll. And remember, they also are connected to Cobra Kai as well. So Sony right now are on a roll, right? And they're on a good roll at that. So I would say to people, support Sony right now, because they're doing the right things at the moment. It's 60-40, isn't it? I think it's something like that, yeah. I think they've got the control and share, but he's still there because they bought him up. They didn't just buy Bad Wolf up. They bought up Julie. They bought up RTD. That's what I mean. They wanted Bad Wolf with RTD. Yeah. That was 60, the deal.
60% Sony, 40% RTD, Julie and Jane. That's something like that.
And think about it. With Sony money backing them up, you've seen what they've done with Cobra Kai, right? You've seen what they've done with Cobra Kai, right? Trust me, folks. I'm telling you, you just won't look. I know RTD is not going to let fans down. I just have that gut feeling, and I've never been 100% certain about something. As you know, been doing this a long time, and have you ever known me to be 100% certain about something is going to go? This is seriously. I don't think he's going to let us down. And Sony have learned from their mistakes, Terrence. That is the actual thing. Sony are the only company right now that I actually think have learned their lessons. The Ghostbusters, they've made a few bad movies since Ghostbusters 2016. They couldn't afford Spider-Man or Cobra Kai or any of these other things that they were doing to go pear-shaped, and they didn't. So they're on a roll right now. But Doctor Who is going to have money that it's never had before, right? So picture that. There's a lot of things. If you actually read back, and I'm going to leave because I'm finishing up now, but I just want to leave this with you, right? RTD did an interview when he was talking. It was after he left. And he'd done a few interviews over the years. And one particular interview, he was talking about certain stories that he'd done. And the fact that he had to change certain stories because of the budget. Right? And look at it. He still produced one of the best eras in Doctor Who's history. Right? That's including classic era as well. Now, the classic era will obviously top anything. But RTD was close, in my opinion. I think he really understood the show. But that's the thing. This is a Doctor Who with money now. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean, because, you can throw all the money at something. If the scripts aren't good and the actors and actresses that you've employed aren't great, well, then it doesn't matter how much money look at Doctor Who Flux, for example. As Lee said, it looked shiny, it looked great. But what substance was there to it? How good was it? It wasn't actually that good. So, I'm not worried because it's RTD. I do believe. So think about it. With that money, his writing, and remember, this is a more mature RTD that's won multi-awards since he's left Doctor Who. We're in for some ride, folks. We're in for some ride.
You go, and when I say to people now that people, I've said it before and I've said it again, if you haven't already, go now while you're waiting, watch Years and Years, watch It's a Sin, watch everything he's done since he's left, and you'll notice.
I'll tell you what I might do, actually, because now that Marty brings it up, do you know what I might do? After Cobra Kai is finished, maybe, because, you know, I haven't watched his Dark Materials and the Season of Witches or whatever it's called. I haven't watched any of those shows, so maybe we will check them out on this channel. But wait until I have to get rid of some of the watch-alongs, though, because I'm going to be honest, the watch-alongs are killing the channel right now. This is why I'm doing more streams like this. They really are. I don't know if people are as interested in them as they were before, to be quite honest with you. I think everybody's kind of getting bored of them right now. But I will continue the ones that we're doing. But as soon as we go through all the classic Doctors and we get to the end, I'm going to put Classic Who's on then on a break for a while until we start it back up again, if we ever do start it back up again. And as soon as we get to Peter Capaldi, as I said, you know, we'll finish there. Now, I was originally going to go back and watch the RTD era, but what I might do now is I might do Discovery of Witches and his Dark Materials instead, because we already know what we're going to get with Doctor Who under RTD. But I want to see these other shows and how they're written.
And even at some point down the line, it's just a suggestion. You don't have to go with it. But, you know, if you want to look at his most recent thing, It's a Sin, his most recent project.
Yeah, I'll have to still, Cheryl watched that and she was in bits.
Yeah.
And she says it's a hard watch. So, you know, I'll watch it. See, this is me. I have to be in the humor. I'm actually going through stuff that I should have watched last year, and I'm only going through it now. So I'm trying to get all of them out of the way. But I will get around. Look, once we start doing the watch-alongs on the channel, I'll be committed. So just wait until we finish off Rick and Morty, Cobra Kai, and then we'll start doing these shows. But Marty, I'll leave the last word with you because we're going to leave. And if you want to do your channel shout out as well, and I've got to head off straight away. I would talk it straight away, but I actually have to.
Oh, you're okay.
I'll tell you in the chat.
Yeah,
I'll tell you in the chat why I need to just go off. Right.
Listen,
there you go.
I'll sit with Steve. Okay.
Yeah, man, I had a cup of coffee there, so you can imagine. Anyway, go on.
Listen, you just sit tight because, as I say, like as Moffat says, you don't know what's coming next. We everything even that we're talking about tonight, even the stuff I said, it could all be red herrings because we know RTD likes to throw out the odd red herring. He done that before. He's done it again. Like he threw out the odd red herring to try and shut down leaks and this, that, and the other. So, you know, it's as Moffat says, I think this is going to be my motto now for the next 18 months. Don't think you know what you're going to get because you don't.
No.
Don't think you know what you're going to get because you don't.
Exactly.
Because, you know, as I say to everybody, get out there, watch It's a Sin, watch anything that he's written in the past 5 years, and you'll get an idea as to what you're getting. You'll get an idea as to what's coming because it's a different RTD's a different beast from back in 2008. Or 2009 RTD and 2021 RTD are two different people.
That's what I mean. The 2005 version and the 2023 version is going to be completely different. But just before Marty shouts out his channel, just to remind everybody, so tomorrow there is no Classic Who's on. Charlotte is not available, so I've decided that we'll just take a week off and then we'll continue it next week. Tomorrow, instead, what we're going to do is we're actually going to do a stream on RTD. And, you know, I want to get you guys and people that haven't been on, if you can, because someone in the comment section on one of my videos said, Noel, would you try bring on different guests? Well, I want to actually address that now, actually. The problem is, right? I know some of yous, look, it happens on channels. I know some of yous would like to see guests freshened up and stuff like that, and me to introduce new people and bring on new guests. The problem that I have is that this channel is perceived as toxic, that a lot of people won't actually come on to the channel. So it's not that I don't want people to bring people on. It's just, they don't want to come on. And also, as well, as you've noticed, I don't get channel invites like most people on my panels do. I don't get invited on streams either. I think it's just because they think maybe I'm a bit too controversial. Look, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not actually bothered about it. It used to bother me, but I'm not bothered about it. If people don't want me to don't want to have me on or don't want to come on, there's nothing I can really do about that. But we'll continue to do our thing on this. Nobody will ever stop us from expressing our opinions the way we have, and I'm not going to stop for anybody. But if I can get new guests on, I will. But for now, as I said, though, if anybody would like to talk about RTD tomorrow, and if you're new and you haven't been on before and you would like to come on, send me a message. I'm on Twitter, as you know, the Tardis official. Go and send me a DM there. Or if you follow me on Facebook, you know that I'm on Messenger. Go and send me a DM and let me know if you can make tomorrow. So that'll be instead of Classic Who. Then on Sunday, we'll have New Who as usual. And as I said, as soon as we finish with Peter Capaldi, then I'm going to put New Who on hiatus for the foreseeable future until we decide to, maybe we might do it up again. I don't know. But once we're invested in the RTD era, once that starts up, I'll be focused mostly on that anyway. So people sick of me now. No, it's not that people are sick. It's just someone said we got the same guests on all the time and they'd like to see it change up a little bit. Look, I love having everybody on, and I can see where they're coming from. But at the end of the day, look, I bring on the people that want to come on, basically. Right? I've never stopped anybody from coming on here. I've even brought on guests from the other side of the argument, But I just, I don't know what it is, but I've just noticed with this channel, nobody will come on. And then if they do come on, they just use it as an opportunity to plug themselves and then they're gone, instead of having real conversation and stuff like that. So, it's just YouTube. Look, at the end of the day, I love every guest that we have on. And there's some people out there might think, might be bored of them. I'm not, and I never will be. But it's not that I haven't tried to bring new guests on. And I have asked, by the way, I have sent out a couple of messages, so I'm just waiting on a reply back. But I do this every time, and I never get a reply back. So it shows me that I'm just not interested in coming on. And there has been a few people that have been on this channel in the past that have talked shit to me to other YouTubers. You all know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to bring their name into it, but that caused an awful lot of damage as well. And a lot of people that I used to be able to bring on just won't come on anymore. And they've never explained why, but I know why. But that's just the way it is. That's, that's just the way it is. I used to take that shit to heart, but there's no point. We do our thing. We have our own little community here, right? And me and you guys will do anything to protect that. So you know what I mean. Just I'm not bothered by it. But is Alpha Omega okay? Again, we spoke about this on Clobbering Times. Clobbering Times actually invited me onto his celebration stream, which was lovely. And Clobby is always like a bit like Gary from Neurotics as well. The two of them, have when they said to bring me on, they've brought me on. So that's absolutely fantastic. They've been great supporters of this channel. But we did mention Alpha's name on that channel to try and get people to spread the word around. Unfortunately, there has been still no word from him. And the last time that I spoke to Alpha myself, when he responded, was, hold on, So the last time I spoke to Alpha and got a response from him was when I sent him a message on the 9th and asking him if he was joining me for New Who, because I think he'd had a couple of weeks off before that. So I was seeing if he was back. And I said, because I haven't seen you around. And he says, no, I'm trying to get over COVID. I feel pretty bad. So I wrote back, sorry to hear that, get well soon. And then I heard nothing. That was on the 9th of the 12th, right? So that was last year, just before Christmas. Then I text him again. I left him for a while and I text him again 9 days later. I says, how are you getting on? I hope you're doing better. No response. So I sent him a message 2 days later. Yeah, okay, Alpha. Still no response. Christmas Day, I sent him a message 7 o'clock in the morning my time, and I wished him a Merry Christmas. Then 3 days later, I sent him another message. Hey, Alpha, how are you? Then I sent him a message on New Year's Eve, right? Sent him a message then again in January and another one on the 16th, and I still haven't heard from him, and he hasn't seen any of those messages. So we don't know what to do, because obviously we don't know his name, because we only knew him as Alpha, because none of us actually thought to ask him his real name. And I actually pissed off at myself for that, even though I know it's not my fault. You know, we some people just don't like, you know, telling us their names, and you just go under their YouTube name. But I should have probably made more of an effort and asked. And, you know, especially if someone, you know, live on his own like he does, we probably should have got some contact details off him as well, just to make sure if anything like this did happen, that we could try get in touch. So I'd say that to Lee as well, because I know Lee at the moment, I think his boyfriend's in Germany, so I think he's living on his own. So if you want to give us your contact details, Lee, so that and our phone number, so we can, you know, if that never happens, we can get in contact with someone, you know, because this is horrible, folks. You know, the last time I spoke to him, he said he had COVID, so you can imagine what I'm thinking. You know, so it's not looking good. Let's just say, because we're in February now, we're coming to the end of bloody February, well, mid-February now. So, yeah, hopefully he's just recuperating or whatever. But it's not like him not to get back to us. So I'll leave it there, but I'll let Marty do his channel shout out anyway. But if anybody out there does know who Alpha Omega is, as I've always said, if you could text myself or Lee, give us his contact details so we can get in touch. Or if you even know his name, you know, let us know so we can actually, because we know where he lives. He lives in the Philadelphia area. If we can get his name, then we'll be able to narrow the search down, and we'll actually probably find out what the story is. So if there's anybody, let us know anyway, as we said. So Marty, go ahead, do your channel shout out, mate, before I actually burst here.
Yeah. MCTV coming to a computer screen, mobile other place near you soon, where I will be speculating, praising, and hopefully not doing too much criticizing of Russell T Davis's second era. So yeah, I'm sure. I think PD has. There he is. PD's thrown into the chat. Thank you. So yeah, you can subscribe and stand by. I've also got a Twitter account as well, but I will throw it into the comment section later when the video's uploaded. Sure. And you can follow me over there, because I have recently uploaded my intro. So yeah, everything's sort of ready to go. It's just a case of me actually.
Yeah, it's just the timing now when you have the time, because you're actually a work schedule. But look, I'm glad that you've gotten everything in place ready to go, because as I said, we're going to need more voices during the RTD era as well. Because look, you know, as you said, you're going to have the other side, because they supported this era, that are going to be critical either way. But we're also going to have the naysayers on their side as well. And as you said, you're like me. You're going to have no problem calling people out. And I'm going to be the same, because listen, at the end of the day, if it's bad, I'll call it out. But if it's good and I see fans just nitpicking little shit because they got nothing better to do, like we see with the Star Wars fandom right now. I mean, I'm kind of getting to the stage with Star Wars fans where I'm like, okay, it's done now. Right? Sequel trilogy is done. They're not going to retcon it. They've got these shows. This is the way they're going. If you don't want to watch them anymore, or you are criticizing now, just don't watch anymore. Because, it just seems to be all petty to me, all of these videos. Like, just leave it out, man. Okay, we get it. You're still angry over the sequel trilogy. Yeah? And you have every right to be angry over the sequel trilogy. Right? The sequel trilogy. But at the end of the day, how many years has it been now? They're not going to retcon it. The YouTuber out there that was telling you all, that dragged this fandom and brought this fandom for a ride, that told you all it was going to be retcon, lied to you. And I said this from day one. There was no way they were going to retcon the sequel trilogy. Because whether those Star Wars fans like it or not, or the OG Star Wars fans, this sequel trilogy has a fandom, right? No matter what you say, it has a fandom, just like Series 11, 12, and 13. Now, it's not much of a fandom, because we've seen the numbers now, but it still has supporters. So this is why I've gotten to the stage where I'm like, I don't care what happens in the next 2 episodes now. This version of Doctor Who was never for me. They made it clear anyway. They were telling us, we just wouldn't listen because we wanted the show to be made a certain way and to be treated with respect. So we were never going to take it lying down. But now that's coming to, I don't care. RTD is back now. Here comes a new dawn. But the thing about it is like, you can moan, scream, bitch, and shout all you want. Tell people to boycott this and boycott that. At the end of the day, none of it is going to make a difference. Disney is never going to retcon the sequel trilogy. The Mandalorian and Boba Fett will actually link to the sequel trilogy, will end up at the sequel trilogy. And that's it. And that's it. And that's the way it is. It's like this. This gets bookended as far as I'm concerned. Well, that's the chapter Doctor Who over. That chapter Doctor Who over. New chapter begins. New era. New model. New everything. And that's the way I'm going to look at it. And I'm not going to be looking back at the past. Right? That's it. It's done. It's done. The reason why I'm giving it about Star Wars fans is that if the Mandalorian and Boba Fett were actually as bad as they're trying to make out it was, I would actually be in agreement with them. But I watched The Mandalorian and The Lion. And I'm pretty sure, I haven't watched Boba Fett yet, but I've watched reaction videos to Star Wars fans that have watched the original franchise. And I've watched reaction videos, and they seem to be pleased with it. So I think there are just a few out there. It doesn't matter what Disney do with that franchise. They're always going to moan. And it'll be the same with the Doctor Who fandom, but I'm not going to tolerate it, right? At the end, Dave, if it's good, I'm going to praise it. If it is bad, I'll be in agreement with those people say it is bad. But at the end of the day, if there's going to be all this nitpicking shit going on, and especially from the other side, I'm going to be calling it out. Because you just have no reason to call it out. The difference is that the Christian Chibnall era was bad on every level. RTD won't be like that, and there'll be no excuses. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there before me, as Lee said, my gallbladder fucking explodes. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Didn't expect to go for 2 hours. Marty, thanks for coming on.
No worries at all.
Really appreciate it. And again, tomorrow, as I said, if you're available, you can come on tomorrow and talk more about RTD. And everybody in the chat as well, if you would like to come on, talk RTD, you know what to do. Send me a message or leave a comment in the comment section after this stream ends. I do keep an eye on the comments. So if there's anybody in the comments that would like to come on, let me know. Right, we're going to leave it there. Thank you, folks, for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your weekend now. Yeah, have a good one. And, not long to go now. Not long to go. Keep counting down the days, because that's what I keep doing. I'm telling you, folks, look, I haven't been this excited since 2005. 2004, actually, because that's when I first found out there was a possibility that RTD was bringing it back. But 2005, when we actually started to see stuff, is when I was, you know what I mean. But I haven't been this excited since 2005. So let's hope he delivers. I think he will. I think he will. But I think the future for Doctor Who, if he can win fans over in the British public, I think the future of Doctor Who could be secure. And that's all we've ever wanted. Look, I'd love this show to go on for as long as it can, once it stays relevant and once it stays fresh and still excites us. As soon as the day that it doesn't, and we did get like that under the Chibnall era and we were disillusioned, but the fact that we got this announcement now gives me hope that we're gonna actually witness the second golden age of New Who. That's how confident I am. And we'll see what he's casting. But I'll say good night. Keep those chins up. Right? Have a good weekend. Don't get into any trouble. I'd like to see you all here tomorrow. And as I said, have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Because I know the lockdowns and the restrictions are lifting all over the world now all of a sudden. So a lot of countries now are allowed to do nearly everything you were able to do back in the day. Before this all started. So I'm actually pretty excited about that as well. So future looks bright. So let's see what happens. Right, Marty, I'll see you. Have a good one.
All right.
Everybody in the chat, good night. Thank you for contributing. As I said, we will talk to you over the weekend. And again, congratulations to Jodie Whitaker and her husband who are expecting their second child. You know, as I said it from the beginning, she wanted to have, this was one of the reasons why she was thinking about leaving the show, because it takes up so much time. She's only got the one kid. She's always said she wanted to have more. And it looks like that's exactly what she's doing. So good luck to her. You know, she wasn't my favorite doctor or favorite actress, you know, but good luck to her. You know, that's her personal life. I hope everything goes well for her and her husband and the baby. And we wish her the best of luck in the future. And that's the way it should be. Doesn't matter what your thoughts and opinions on her are. That's the way everybody should be now around her, you know. You know, she goes off now and does her own thing. And she's obviously gone through motherhood, which is, you know, and I think she did a documentary or something or a movie on motherhood. So interesting, but I'm delighted for her because I knew that was one of the reasons why she wanted to leave, because she wants to start a family. So congratulations and hard luck, Tasman stands. She was never going to run off with Mandip Gill anyway in real life. She loves her husband, and that's it. That's it. Right, we'll leave it there anyway. Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.